Hey guys, what's up? What's up? What's up? It's me. Welcome back to another episode of Kicking It with Kay. Ooh, 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 ooh. All right, so first, gonna adjust the elephant in the room, so to speak. For those of you guys who've been following along, you know that for the last couple of days, couple of weeks, couple of months, whatever, my life has been comparable to used number 2 toilet water. Yeah. So I've done a lot of crying, but I'm not actually crying today, right now, in this moment. However, it looks like I am, but I'm not. So what happened was I went to wash my face with my washcloth that I use for my face explicitly this morning. And like I put it up to my eyes and immediately I could smell something and like I was like, oh, put this down. So what I know happened is that he used Icy Hot this morning, and he must have used my washcloth to like wash his hands or do whatever with the Icy Hot. So, okay, so I immediately put it down, went and got another washcloth, washed my face, all was well. But then I put lotion on my face, and then the lotion and the Icy Hot that I had gotten like around my eyes just like reacted with each other, and now my eyes are watering like I'm crying or like I have been crying. But I promise you right now I'm not, and I actually feel really good. I'm feeling in a good place. So yeah. But okay, so let's get started. Today I'm going to tell you our homeschooling journey. I'm going to tell you our homeschooling journey and like our homeschooling story. And then I will show you guys or tell you guys about the things that we used and the things that we like and blah, 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 blah. And hopefully this video won't be too long. But also, as much as I love homeschooling, as much as I love teaching, that chapter may be coming to an end. So I wanted to do this while I was in a good space about that. Yay. Also, I have started we finished school like 2 weeks ago. So I've started taking down some of our school stuff, but I'll see if I can go back and find like pictures. Cause I want to include pictures and stuff too, but like what our homeschooling area looks like, but of course I'll, how we homeschool. But okay, so the first thing that you need to know, and like when I'm talking with people who want to homeschool, the first thing I tell them is like, get out of your mind that school is sitting at a desk for 6.5 hours a day, because that's not homeschool. It can be if that's your preference, but it's not our preference. It's not what we did. Okay. All right. So we started homeschooling when the 17-year-old, when Kyra was, she was in 6th grade, but we didn't officially start until she was in 7th grade. So I don't know, like, okay. So 5 years ago, we officially, yeah, I actually had to count that out, but 5 years ago, we officially started homeschooling. But 5.5 years ago, when she was in public school, I lie to you not, this is what happened. So she was already getting bullied and she was already having like difficulties in school and everything. And we were like, me and my mom were like, push through it, you can do it. You know, she had counselors, whatever. And they were like, you can do it, you can do it. But I kid you not, she was in 6th grade. I went to pick her up for a dentist appointment in April. And when I was in the office, somebody said, oh, you're Kyra's mom. And I was like, yes. Now, let me preface this by saying that at the beginning of the year, my mom and I went up to the school and said these things to them. Hey, she has a TBI that she's just literally getting over. So at that time, it had been like less than a year or maybe just a year. So she has this TBI that she's getting over. You cannot call and talk to her because she won't remember, or I won't remember, that's really weird, because I won't remember the conversation. So you have our permission to either call my mom, they had my mom's number, or email me, or email my mom, or text me, or text my mom. So like we did all of that, and everybody was like, okay, yes. All right, so April, I had started driving again, I think. At any rate, I went to the school to pick her up, and I'm in the office waiting for her, and an adult male says, oh, you're Kyra's mom. And I look up. I don't think that I've ever seen him before, but again, brain injury. And I was like, yeah. And he goes, oh, I've been meaning to call you. And I was like, well, call me about what? And he's like, I'm Kyra's math teacher. I need to talk to you. And I was like, okay. Immediately, I freaked out and was like, oh my gosh, did you call me and I didn't return your call? And he's like, oh no. And I said, okay. I said, did you email me or text me and I didn't respond? And he says, no. And he goes, I haven't actually contacted you at all. I was like, okay. And then he goes, but Kyra, I need to because I need to let you know that Kyra's going to fail math. And I looked at him and I was like, you haven't tried to contact me at all, but Kyra's failing math? And he was like, yeah. And I said, oh, well, we don't have a problem. You have a problem. But since I'm a good parent and I'm an involved parent, here's what we're going to do. So I said, when is tutoring in the morning and when is tutoring in the afternoon? What time does she need to be here? What time do I need to pick her up? Because, oh, well, I don't do tutoring in the morning. I was like, do you do it in the evening? No, I don't do any kind of tutoring like that. Okay. Is there anybody in this school who does any type of tutoring? And he looked at me and he said, no. Then he said, well, I do have like a lunch buddy program for people who are struggling or falling behind. So I looked at him and I said, well, how come she hasn't been having lunch with you like this whole time? Oh, it's not that kind of tutoring. So I was like, okay. So essentially, I was like, okay, whatever. At this time, I was like, yeah. In my mind, I was like, yeah, you're not coming back to the school because they're not invested in helping you. And Kyra had been wanting to homeschool for a while. I just had not been on board with it because brain injury, and I was trying to figure out how I could make that happen while still healing and, you know, my brain and everything, whatever. So I talked to Kyra and we were on board that's what we were going to do. But in my state, in Virginia, at the end of every year, so by August, you have to submit proof of progress to the school board. So you can pull out your student at any time. So in April, I could have pulled her out, but that would have meant that I would have had to show proof of progress in August. And I didn't want to take on the burden of showing progress when she had been in public school. So she stayed in school, but it basically became, if she didn't want to go, I didn't really force her to go to school. We have standardized tests here, the SOLs. I told her she didn't have to take them. Her teachers did guilt her into taking them though, and then wanted her to take them again when she didn't pass. And I was just like, no, we're not doing that. But okay, while I wasn't making her go to school, we had started unofficially homeschooling. So we were working on things at home. So then I spent that summer like researching. Also, I was like, how can we do this free? What can we do? So I found this program. It's called All-in-One Homeschool, easy peasy. So that's what we started 7th grade with. I love it, but we don't use it anymore. And the reason that we don't use it anymore is because it was just so much computer, like just on the computer reading. And it was a lot, but it was free and it worked and it did the purpose. It served the purpose for what we needed. I'll put links in the description below and everything for it. But yeah, so it worked for 7th grade. So that's what we used. Even going into 8th grade, we still used it because I was still learning, like, what can I do? I was still, like, what can we do and stuff. So 8th grade. And then at the end of 8th grade, we were just like, this is not working for us anymore. So I did some more research, and we started using, Kyra said that she liked the computer for some things, and that for other things, she didn't like the computer. She liked books and all this other stuff. So we moved from strictly easy peasy to easy peasy for some things. And then we started using books, and I researched books on Amazon. It wasn't like I just was like, oh, we need this book and let me just go buy it. No, I was like, okay, these are the subjects that we're going to do. Let me research books on these, workbooks and things like that. So I did a lot of research to find what would work best with the learner that Kyra is. And Kyra is she's like a hands-on, she's a creative person just like me, and she's a hands-on learner. She needs to do stuff, so she's kind of tactile too, in order to really grasp the concept. So then me, at the same time, I was doing preschool at home with the 2 6-year-olds. They're 6-year-olds now, but at the time I think they were two or three. So we were doing learning with them at home too. And it was just it was really awesome. It was really starting to flow. Then 10th grade, we dropped easy peasy completely. And 9th grade, because 9th grade we dropped easy peasy. Okay, sorry, got confused. Okay, 7th and 8th grade we used easy peasy exclusively. 9th grade we used easy peasy and some book work. 10th grade we dropped easy peasy completely. All right, sorry about that. My baby best friend is here now. So, but I'm not going to stop recording because I'm determined to get this done and no longer procrastinating or wallowing in all the toilet water stuff. But all right, so anyway, so 10th grade, we went to, we dropped easy peasy completely, and we started using books, but we didn't use books exclusively because now, by this point, I had moved from a place of I want to do all of this for free to, okay, maybe I need to pay for some of the things that I want. So we started using books, and we also started using OutSchool. And so when she was in 9th grade, I was doing pre-K with Corey, and we didn't use any paid things for him by trade. I'm an early childhood educator. So so I just did preschool with him. And that was also the year that the world is crazy and, the pandemic and stuff. So Blueski was doing preschool online through public school, but he was here. And Corey was doing preschool with me. I also had some other kids that were coming here during the day, and we were doing preschool. And then I had another kid Kyra's age doing school as well here. I should note, I was not teaching those other kids. They were just here, and I was monitoring the work they were doing, because in Virginia, you can homeschool your own kids, but to homeschool other people's kids, you need to have more qualifications. So I just want to put that out there. That's not what I was doing. I was just providing a space and monitoring their work. So, So then 10th grade, we started using OutSchool. When Kyra was in 10th grade, Corey was also in kindergarten. So Kyra was using OutSchool and Corey was using OutSchool. Plus we were doing book work. Plus we were doing hands-on stuff. And so, then this year, Corey did 1st grade again. So it's easier for me to remember this year. All right. So for OutSchool, for Corey in 1st grade, he did a 1st grade core curriculum class, which was 30 minutes, 3 times a week. And they covered the core stuff of 1st grade, but that was not the only 1st grade stuff that he did. It also gave him interaction with other kids because it's online. It's a classroom online. Other kids are in there. So he was allowed to make friends online and, socialize and all of that. But that's not the only socialization that happened. So he was doing his core first grade class, which was 30 minutes, 3 times a week. He also did a music class on OutSchool, which was once a week. And he did a Spanish class on OutSchool, which was once a week. And then he had book work, and we also utilized things on the internet. So he did computer. There's a typing curriculum that it's free. I think it's like Jungle Typing or something like that, but I'll link it below. Okay, so he was doing that. And then we used YouTube for art, and so he was getting like real art lessons, but also we used creativity, and we did like fun things. He did have spelling, and we used K12reader.com for spelling. Again, I'll put all of these links in the description. And then he had books, and I will show you guys the books that he used in just a second. All right, and then Kyra, before everything happened and what have you, she was using OutSchool this year for English, art, photography, and American Sign Language. Then we used another program for biology, and that program is Time for Learning. So she was doing Time for Learning for biology. Now, Time for Learning is it's a full curriculum. You can use it as a full curriculum. We didn't want to. We just used it for the biology aspect of it. And then for books, she was doing Algebra 2 in a book. She was doing, and that book was the Kumon book. She was doing vocabulary out of a book, and history was out of a book. And I think that's everything. That's everything that she was using. So I can't show you her books because obviously when everything went up in the air, I sent them with her, not knowing what was going to happen of the situation. Also she had a journal book, so that she was using because, writing. Now here, I want to say this too. So if in Virginia, or more specifically, the little county where I live, they don't necessarily recognize homeschooling as learning if you are not doing public school at home. So even though you're showing progression of learning at the end of every year, like if you want to go to public school, they have the option of accepting your stuff. Like, this is what I've learned. This is, show proof of progression. Or they can put you in the lowest grade appropriate for the school that you're in. So like if you're in high school, even if you're in 11th grade, they could say, no, we're going to put you in 9th grade. It's completely up to them. It's at their discretion. Okay. So yeah, so that was this year. What else? Okay. So also in Virginia, where I live, in order to homeschool your kids, you only have to show that you have a high school diploma, and you have to turn in an NOI, which is a notice of intent, and then you have to show a curriculum that you're going to teach. Not go into detail. It's literally just a list of subjects that you're going to teach. So that's what I did. And if you have that, you're not asking for permission, you are informing. So I just want to make that clear. Alrighty, so I'm going to get Corey's books. I'm going to show you his books and that we were using for Corey's books. And then I think I'm going to pop in some videos, like some short videos and some pictures of our school area. But actually, I can. Okay, so this right here is like our school hub. It's really messy right now, but it tends to get messy as the year goes on. But yeah, if I were going to continue this journey in the fall, which I'm not 100% that I'm not, but I'm not 100% that I am. But if I were going to continue it, I would go through this right here. This is like manipulatives. A lot of these I would actually keep because I do have my baby best friend coming behind these guys, and they're just good practice. But I would go through, or I will be going through here and organizing it. Again, we have like our sentence strips in here, and this is the Corey's words. Here, I'll show you his words. So all the spelling words that Corey learned this year in first grade are in here. These are all the words from first grade right there. We have some more manipulatives in here. We have our scale right here. This is supposed to be scissors and other teacher supplies right here, but again, it's the end of the year, the end of the year, and so everything is all jumbled up. Down here, it was like Play-Doh and bean bags, some stuff that we like did together. And we have checkers, Corey's school box right here, my binding machine right here that we don't necessarily use for school, but couldn't find anywhere else to put it. And we have more manipulatives right here. We have some art supplies right here. Okay, so down here this is Kyra's, well, this was Kyra's vocab box, and stuff like that we use for arts and crafts, books that, what is this toy doing in here? All right, books that I either use as reference or will use in coming years. And then, you know, the big bottle of glue. Also, whiteboard, because we use a whiteboard for learning. And then we just have games down here. Hi, stop. All right, over here, we have all things art. This was empty. Like, the top of this was empty at the beginning of the year. But because we've done all kinds of stuff and people have given me stuff, it's overflowing with art stuff. And we have sand, Corey's first chapter book, shampoo because we made slime and stuff. Okay, in this drawer, I actually just I feel like I need to just throw everything away in this drawer because I don't think that I opened this drawer one time this year. But, like, I can see washcloths for when we were going to make pillows and practice our fine motor skills. I don't know why we didn't do that. It might have just been something that we didn't get to. But yeah, so miscellaneous art stuff in here. And here, you see the shaving cream. We do play with shaving cream a lot on the kitchen table. Also, what else is in here? Oh, glitter and some big things of paint are in here. And then in this drawer, more paint. Oh, also in this drawer right here is glue. So I get like at the beginning of the year, I would buy the bottles of glue, like the small Elmer's bottles of glue. Even though and then I would refill them as they get empty with that. And then over here, we have more manipulatives up here. Flashcards of all kinds, and then stuff for the Play-Doh and like dot markers, stuff that we don't use all the time, but like we use. Sponges, because we use sponges to paint and make stamps. And there's the teacher edition for the science book that I have. I have no idea what's in here. I think it's like paint cups and stuff. Down here, it was actually a lot fuller, but I've started getting rid of stuff. All of Kyra's paints. So her paints are different from the kids' paints. But yeah, so all of her paints were here, and all of her paintbrushes were here. And then she had oil paints, and she had oil pastels. These are Corey's oil pastels, so they're still here. And then we have have kinetic sand, we have like all kinds of art stuff, and we actually used all of that. So yeah. All right, and then down here, file folders. We use file folders a lot, not just in organizing, but also in like creating lap books. And I'll see if I can find a lap book and show you guys what a lap book looks like. But before I do, well, actually, yeah, I'll look for that now and show you guys. All right, so here is a lap book. Now this is one that I made when Corey was doing preschool, like when he was doing 2 or 3 preschool, not the last year. But I keep it because it's good learning material. And I didn't want to look for like one of the ones that Corey actually made because I've already put that away in his file. But okay, so here it is. It's all learning about the color red. So you open it up. You've got these things and they come off. And so the idea is that the kids will pick them off and that they can match, but they're all red things because we're learning about the color red. And then this is the story, the little red hen. And it's got like felt characters on it. So you can tell the story to them and then they can retell the story to you. So it's got the actual story here, but then they can use the characters and they can tell the story. So that is that lap book. That's a pretty small one. Corey did one for like the 5 senses, and it was 2 file folders like glued together. But yeah, like I said, I've already put that away. So that's in the file cabinet of learned stuff. But yeah, I just wanted to show you that. And then like another thing. So these are alphabets, and just like to give you an example of how we learn differently. So Corey has spelling, and I showed you that box of spelling words, which he learned, but you know, he would learn, he would write them, he would practice them, but also we would go to the letters. These are just some words that are sight words that we would put on the refrigerator and let him do magnets with. But other times he would get his words for the week, the words that we were working on, and he would like just go to the refrigerator and spell out the words. And sometimes we would do time to like to see how long it took them. We have a kitchen timer that's on the refrigerator as well. And so we just did that. Or he would get magazines and cut letters out to make his words. So it wasn't just like, sit here, here's a flashcard, learn your words. Yeah, so okay, so that's this area of our homeschool stuff, our homeschool stuff. Now, if you look down the hall, those are letter tiles. So they have letters, they're letters and they're in blocks. Corey doesn't use those, but my baby best friend uses those, and we are learning letters that way. I should say reinforcing learning letters because, yeah. So, all right, now I will show you the books. All right, so again, this shelf needs love. It really needs love, but it's the end of the year, so, I don't even know. Here it is. So this book right here, we started the year with this book and then we finished it. So then we moved on to another first grade book. So that's that. He had a reading book. He had a writing book where he had to, you know, write stuff. So yeah. Also, he had a spelling book as well. And social studies. Now, social studies does say kindergarten on it. However, that's the beauty of like homeschooling, is you can look at books and you can say, oh no, this is too advanced, or no, this is not advanced enough, or whatever, and you can pick the books. I went with this one because this kindergarten book is actually more on point with like first grade learning, as opposed to the first grade book it just seemed more like it was second grade stuff. Okay, so then he had a language arts book, and this was his second first grade book, so just, you can see those things. And I like that because it's divided into sections. So every day he did a page from the section, which again, this reinforces that core class that he was taking on OutSchool. And then something for the baby, my baby best friend. We are working on using our words, so this is just something we use for that. The rest of the stuff in there is Kyra's stuff. I don't really want to go through that. Oh, I will show you this. Okay. At the beginning of the year, I'm really like super, super, super organized. Like, I plan out what we're going to do. And then especially like for Kyra, and I think this might be Kyra's book. Nope. I don't know where Kyra's book is, but yeah, whatever. Okay, so, but like, this is Corey's lesson book. And so I would write it out, and I did it like a month in advance, 2 weeks to 4 weeks in advance. So like, I would write out what we're going to do, the date, and then what we're going to do on that date. And then as we did it, I would highlight it so that I knew that we were doing everything. But I also have it here in my planner. So like, this was the beginning of planning. Like, this is Kyra's. I wrote down all of the classes on OutSchool and subjects that she was learning. And then down here, like, we just went through, and Kyra had a lot to say in what she was doing on what day, unless the class was like on OutSchool and we didn't have a choice. And then this is Corey's. So yeah. Again, the subjects that he's taking, and then I show that we weren't doing any one day. It wasn't like full. But so the other book where I was like writing everything out, I did that up until about Christmas, especially with Kyra, because Kyra, if she had it written out, she could do a lot of learning on her own, whereas Corey, it had to be more hands-on. I will say with Kyra, I did do algebra with her every single day. I'm sure if you follow me on Facebook, which you should, follow me on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. But yeah, so I did algebra Kyra did algebra twice a week, and algebra, I literally sat down and did it with her to make sure that she understood, especially because what I realized when we started homeschooling 5 years ago was that Kyra was way behind in math. And she should have been failing math, because learning wise and retaining the information wise, she was like on a fourth, maybe fifth grade level. So we had to go all the way back. So math was something that I generally sat down with her and we did together, because I wanted to make sure that she could understand it and that she was getting it. And you learn when you're homeschooling that you can tell if somebody is progressing. Baby best friend is playing with his car seat. But you can tell if somebody is progressing. You can tell if somebody is struggling just by sitting down and talking with them about what they're doing. So, and then one other book that I did not show you, that I didn't see over there, was each of them had a Bible book. And I don't mean like a Bible like with all the chapters in it. I mean like an actual Bible lesson, kind of like a mini devotional. And with Corey, his was a story. I think the story was like 2 pages long. And then we would go to YouTube and we would find find a video talking about what we read, and Kyra would just write about what she read, or we would converse about what she read. And sometimes if she had questions, we would even get my pastor involved. But again, that's the beauty of homeschool. You can add things to learning, and it still be part of your learning. And you can take things away that you don't think are as necessary. Another thing is that my kids were introduced to all the kids that were in my house were introduced to music around the world. So every day we did music. We listened to music from around the world. So not just specific types of music or things like that. Also every morning we did affirmations, and I'm just holding this on here. Sorry, I'm too lazy to turn the camera around. There, turn the camera around. All right. So every morning we did affirmations. We did, sometimes we did the pledge, but not always. And this is why, because I wanted my kids to know what it was, but also I don't ever want to make them feel like they have to do a thing. They know what the flag is. They know what the pledge is. We also sang the national anthem and the Negro national anthem, because again, there are things I want them to learn that they might not necessarily learn in public school. And yeah, so that's it. This video is going to be really long. I apologize in advance, but that's our homeschooling adventure, our homeschooling journey. I'm happy to talk to anybody about their own homeschool adventure, homeschool learning, whatever. I love planning lessons out. I love researching the topics and how creatively can we do this. I love doing that. So I actually started consulting because of my love for that. So yeah, so my email is in the, you can email me or whatever, but also do all the things. Please share, comment, follow me. Like I said, I'm on Facebook, I am on Instagram, and I, within the last couple of weeks, just joined Twitter. And I try to make each platform something different, so you're not getting the same thing from me on all the platforms. For example, on YouTube, you guys know that it is it's Kicking It with Kay, and that's kind of like a behind the scenes life. Facebook is where you're going to get a lot of the motivation stuff. Instagram, you're going to get poetry things. I'm trying to get better about that. You're going to get poetry things. You're going to see I have a lot of reels going, or not a lot compared to some people, but I'm trying. So, Instagram is where the reels and the poetry are. And then Twitter is, I haven't really, I don't really know yet. I actually joined Twitter because of the whole Johnny Depp, v. Amber Heard trial thing. And that was where LawTube was, and I was trying to follow. And then I found a couple things that I like on Twitter, that were resonating with me and where I am mentally, healing wise and grief wise. So, but I haven't found a niche for my Twitter yet, but we'll get there. Anyway, I've taken up a lot of your time, and I'm going to take up some more because I'm going to include some short videos and some pictures of us learning, so you can actually see our homeschool in action. I love you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I hope I inspired you. Leave me a comment. Thanks. Bye.